Welcome to the Predator World 10-Ball Championship, proudly presented by CueSports International and hosted here in Las Vegas at the Rio All Suites Hotel and Casino. We now have a one-loss side match, and whoever wins moves on to our final 16. We'd like to thank our other sponsors for the event, Diamond Billiard Products, Kamui, and Omega. Now, let's meet our two opponents for this match. First up, hailing from Canada, we put our hands together for Alex Pagulayan. And his opponent, hailing from Japan, we put our hands together for Toru Kuribayashi. Gentlemen, have a great match, and you may lag for break. Have a great match, sir. Have a great match.
And good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Rio Hotel here in Las Vegas. It is the $100,000 added Predator World 10-Ball Championships, brought to you by CueSports International. And we've got a big match in store. Jim White's very happy to be joined by Jeremy Jones. And Jeremy, we were talking just before this match started. Alex has literally just come off a loss, and they've shoveled him over here to the CSI Arena to play Kuribayashi. And if there's anyone that can handle coming off a loss and getting thrown right back into the fire pit, it might be Pagulayan.
Yeah, he's been in this situation before, but it's hard enough to come off a hard-fought win. You know, you can have a letdown, many think that way, and let alone a hard-fought loss on the winner's side that would have secured his final spot, his spot in the final 16.
Well, it's a race to 8. The winner of this will make up the last 16. We've got our 8 winners on the A side. That 8 winners from the B side, loser's bracket, will be drawn into tomorrow. So the winner of this will be in the knockout stages. It'll be race to 10 at that point. But the rules, there's a 40-second shot clock employed here on the main table.
I don't think that Mr. Kuribayashi is going to get this back. Cross corner bank and offers a little, oh, well, he kind of crossed it over naturally. And I thought he would spin around the 3 with some inside to where the cue ball might lay behind the 10.
Template being used to rack the balls. Kuribayashi gave Kasper Matkinen a donut leading up to this one. 8-0 he beat him.
Yeah, it looked like at first he was going to play the 1 into the 2-9 and the cue ball behind the 3, which I really like. Now he's going to try and get him behind the 8. Needs the cue ball to go a little bit. Pretty good effort, and he's left a tough shot. That's the one thing about the way he went, is he knew he was going to leave one that was tough to get position on the 2, especially with the 7 being there. So really kind of still forced to try and make this ball, huh, Jim? And then play safe from there?
Yeah, I would think so, because the safety from here isn't that easy.
Well, seems way tougher than the shot, so he'd probably minimize cue ball movement, just get past the 3 and the 5 and try and work from there. I don't think any reason to really go all out. Okay, he hit it great. He wanted to get a little better on it, on the safety.
Cued that one beautifully over distance. Now he can try and duck behind that 9. So that one good shot on the 1. Alex is hoping that it opens the door. He needs a mistake from Kuribayashi here, though.
Well, with the 4 being there, he's got to thread the needle, maybe going 1, 2, maybe 3 rails around the 10 and 8 and to the backside of the 2 ball. I mean, I'm not really sure of what else he has. So he's got to kind of aim high and add a lot of right side spin. Let the cue ball wrap just below the 8. We'll have some speed on this. Oh, a nice hit. Beautifully done. And again, just how accurate are the guys on the kick shots, Jim?
They've been on this table. I've seen some tremendous efforts. I mean, even where they've called pockets, a kick to a bank, called a pocket, got it.
And won the match.
And won the match.
Ran out and won the match. We kind of wondered about that earlier. I think it was Liu who elected to play safe, a young, great up-and-coming player from Chinese Taipei. And you know, he played a percentage shot, but again, I thought that bank was on.
Yeah, I remember it. Well, Alex can just get through to this 2. They have to spin the cue ball a little low.
Oh man, that's 2 clean hits in this opening game. A long shot on the 1, and then that little subtle swerve around the 4, I believe.
And now back in perfect position to try and snare this opening rack. He lost a real tough battle to the younger Ko, 8-6. And came right across about, I'm going to say, a matter of about 50 feet from one table to the CSI arena here.
Didn't have to really do much here. Alex likes to move this ball to rail more than sacrifice the distance on the 7. Hit it nice.
I'd also like to thank Diamond Billiard Products for supplying all the tables here. Beautiful match tables. Kamui, they've got a booth out here in the arena somewhere, as well as Omega Billiards, all sponsors of this event. As we've already noted, so much work goes into putting these events together, and even more to making them the success that they are. Kuribayashi will probably be very well aware of Alex and vice versa. We've played a lot against each other in events, certainly the other side of the Pacific. Pagulayan does secure the opening rack. There were no mistakes made. Just very good shot making, and forged the opening and took it.
Yeah, even the long shot on the 1 and the nice safety, a nice kick return by Kuribayashi. And then Alex made a nice out from there. Now we'll be breaking in game 2. He hit a lag that you normally wouldn't see from Alex. It came up pretty short, but it might have something to do with last time he played on this table, he suffered a loss. And I talked to him after it, and he said that, man, it's just one of the fastest tables he had played on in quite some time. So I wonder if that was in his head coming over from one of the outer tables.
Settling into the break, winning that one against Kuribayashi's break certainly won't put him in
Hit that well.
in ill favor.
The 1 must end up on the side rail, I'm guessing, because he really hit the rack well. So I'm guessing the 1 went up to the end rail and back down. Happens a lot when you're really hitting the break well. You get a lot of energy of that 1 ball coming off the rack, and it'll actually go all the way to the top rail, Jim, and you see where it's ended up.
He's looking at the possible bank here, and I think that 1 will bank past the 3.
May look at cross side bank as well. Okay, it looks like he's chipping it now and running behind the 210 a couple rails, but the 1 on the end rail. That's got to go a little. Oh, and perfect.
Yeah, just nestling up to the 2, taking the jump shot away.
Yeah, and the 8's got him a little hampered as far as the kick on the side rail, just like the natural angle. So they're going to have to manipulate the cue ball somehow. Maybe 2 rails to the bottom rail here, the left side rail, and add the 1 ball that way. something like what he's doing.
Ball corner pocket.
Thing about this, the 3 rails underneath is not bad. If you can kick the 1 ball upward off the 3rd rail, you got a good chance to maybe not leave that great a shot. Oh, right around it.
Well, it was a jam up safety. If he tried to go around that one the way that he did, he could probably take 10 tries at it and not do it.
And Alex looking at this 1 to 2 because doesn't want to get super thin on the 2 with the 4 just having the lower left. He wants to get pretty good shape on the 3, or he's going to have to settle for a 4-5 combination later. Boy, you just move 1 ball, Jim, like if the 7 wasn't there. Just slide up the side rail with no worries and get in a prime position on the 2. He still may do that, but I think he's just going to creep next to the 7 ball on the left side if you're looking at your monitor. No reason to go to the back side of it, take a chance. Yeah, so he'll just creep into that little bitty area there. Still a little awkward because you'll notice if he comes back, it gets kind of flat on the 3, and it's not so easy to get some cue ball movement. I'll tell you what, though, the 4-5 combination is not bad. You have to settle for that. Okay, so that tells me that's what he's doing, right? He's going to settle for the combo.
Yeah, he's going to play this off 2 cushions and swing it back just past the center of the table.
Yeah, this is where you just use your talent to float into position. I don't think there's any need to come to the 3rd rail. Now he's looking, can I get short position on the side? And talked about this before. I think Alex will realize he's taking a chance here. And now he's going to get. Okay, got a shot, but I think that was awfully risky. All that to stay away from a 4-5 combination that ladies and gentlemen, was not tough. You can see where the 5 lays.
Well, I know I'm looking at you a little surprised too, the way that he played that. I never want to question anyone with Alex's ability or creativity, but he did bring that 10 ball into the equation there, didn't he, with that shot?
Yeah, and it didn't seem really anything that speed control had anything to do with the shot. You can see the speed he hit it. He was trying to really make it kill off that 3rd and 4th rail and get on the 4. But I believe it was me and you had talked about it. At times, I think Alex tries to avoid some things and uses knowledge and other parts of his game that he has. Man, just how big. Who else would you want shooting that 4-5? There isn't a whole lot of people you could say besides Alex, and I think he kind of at times can get away from that. He needs to realize, hey, I'm Alex Pagulayan. I'm supposed to be able to just get down and knock that in all day, and just not take the chance is the point, right? But of course, we're in the boot, Jim.
Yeah,
he's out here trying to qualify for the final 16.
He's winning racks.
Right.
2-0. Easy to, play the devil's advocate from up here, but he's down there doing the business under the heat.
Well, I'm glad it's part of our job description, and if people want to see it in writing, we'll find something for them. But one thing about Alex, though, usually under pressure, his decisions are really solid, along with execution. Now playing without the glasses. He started the tournament with the glasses, and today, I believe, with the glasses.
Funny enough, he played a couple shots without the glasses against the younger Co, and then went over and got them for a couple other shots. So the commitment's not there,
Yeah. Well, he and I talked about it. Spent some time around Alex the last few months, several months, and sometimes he develops a little bit of a headache. Still trying to get used to him, so that may have played into as the day goes on. Okay, a lot of movement on the one again. Now the cue ball, if it's just up the table anywhere, he's got a pretty easy shot on the one, and still a real makeable bank on the one.
Oh, knocked 3 balls in on the break. Everything open. So you've got to feel that this bank might be the toughest shot he faces in rack 3.
And he should just hit this with a high ball and let the cue ball float just past the 4 and lay in between the 5, 6, and 10 somewhere in that vicinity. Makes the bank pretty easy. Okay, I don't think it's too much. No, but I tell you, he's got to slow roll this a touch. Talked about this type of shot the other day, Jim, is when you're trying to hold it, you'll actually underhit it. You'll really baby it. Just, you have a little more room with the cue ball than you think going forward, generally. And you're just better off putting a little extra on it just because you stay a little more solid with the roll of the ball.
Yeah, stayed nice and still on that. Usually when you've got a slow roll ball, if there's any nerves, that's when they can be exposed.
It's just one rail back out. Okay, going 3 rails, so the 6 must go the other pocket. Is that right? By the 10? Because he's well short with the cue ball if it doesn't. He's a little on the 50-yard line if it does, to either pocket.
Yeah, I think the way he's played that, he had to be playing it to the bottom left, as our overhead camera shows, but he's looking to see if the 6 goes by the 10. If it does, that may be option B.
Well, I'm not sure he can run the cue ball here. He's going to have to draw this underneath. And if this is a funny shot, because if you get a lot on it, you draw too well, and you're a little longer on the 8. And you're shooting it by the side pocket. Okay, he hit it pretty sweet with inside English. Well, that tells you the level of comfort, because that was done very simply, I tell you.
Well, all by virtue of a great break from Toru there. And that's going to secure him the 3rd rack. And effectively just down the 1 break. So Alex will break in the next. Jeremy, how does the scores around the doors look?
Well, you can see our TV table, and then Bistrabosh now leading Mario He 5-3 actually. Chris Milling and Co is leading 1-0. Lechner and Steyer are tied at 1 apiece with Tyler Steyer at the table. Kazakis is trailing Feeler 1-0. Kevin Chang and Lowe, with Lowe leading by 1-0. Skowerski is leading Ignacio 2-0. And Dennis Grabe, I guess, who lost to Niels. Ended up losing to Niels. That'd be an Ocean, excuse me.
Yeah, Albin Ocean
lost to Niels, and they're tied at 1 apiece.
And Kazakis lost to Ralph Souquet. So you'll see the Kaiser in the last 16 as well as Niels. The younger Co. all these match winners, these 8 o'clock draws, all go through to the knockout stages. The races move to 10.
Well, Alex looks like he's similar to the first rack he won. He's going to have to play safe here after making the 1 ball. I think he got to where he can bank it 3 rails by the 10 and still get long past the 4 and 5. May have to cut it a hair though, which is okay because you may want to bump the 8 a little bit anyways right here on this shot. So I think he's banking it around the table.
Trying to kill the cue ball right behind the 8?
Yeah, and like I said, I think he might bump it just a little bit. That way he can cut the 3 so he doesn't catch the 4. I don't think the 10's the problem. The 4, you want to make sure you don't catch that ball. He did a nice job.
That wasn't easy.
No. Some 4.5 feet away, and had to control both balls while going into the 8. Did real well. I like the 1 rail kick across just next to the 5, I think. A lot of times you want to kick 2 rails. It gives you a better feeling. I understand that kind of the same path the 3 took away whenever Alex shot his shot.
And if he hits inside it, though, he can flick the 3 and go in the pocket.
Yeah, and just new felt. I just don't feel good as well about that shot on new felt as I do just 1 rail cross.
But again, there's already been quite an exhibition of very good first-class safety play in this match. We're only in the 4th rack. There's been some good shot making, but a very high standard. And you've seen all aspects of the game.
And we've seen guys break the balls perfectly 3 or 4 games in a row and then have a dry break. So we've got a lot of variety, I think, which is always bodes well for the tournament and for the spectators and fans, and also us in the booth. Well, one thing good about Alex, as far as I believe he lost that last match 8-6, but he was trailing early and fought back. Showed a lot of class doing so. So that may have bode well for him going right into this next match. Hey, let me keep that mode that I played the last half of my last loss. And so far, he's been pretty spot on.
Didn't hurt nudging that 8 out a little bit either.
No, very intentional. Just stop there to hold a nice angle to come across from the 8 to the 9. Now you can come all the way down if you want, but really on this type of table where it's not super easy pockets, but very playable pockets, I don't worry about coming that far down here. I want to hold my angle. There, he could have used a little more just because Alex is a little bit shorter gentleman, but he's so good with the bridge and the extension. But he did get a hair thinner than he wanted.
Alex is the lone Canadian left, and John Mora got beat. It might have been Hill, Tyler Steyer might have beaten John.
He sure did.
But Alex is carrying the Maple Leaf, as he does so often and proudly.
Well, I know you all have plenty, but another Hall of Famer also for Canada.
Yeah, he'll be, I think that's this week, isn't it? He's going to be inducted into the BCA Hall of Fame.
I'm not sure if the ceremony is this week, though.
No, you might be right. I know that
that's
the
later in
trade
the
show
year.
is up the road. And yeah, pretty special moment and so well deserved. Alex will pop into to our club when he's in Toronto, but his home club is a venue called Le Spot, owned by a good buddy of ours, Marco Liu, and a very good friend of Alex's. And I mean, he's so very supportive of the game. And I'll tell you, when Alex is, any club Alex is in, within about 15 minutes, everybody in the club knows he's in the club. That sort of personality.
Jim referring to the pool clubs up there in Canada.
Yeah,
in America, if you say the club, you know, they kind of mean the disco or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Although I've seen Alex, he's been known to dance a few times.
He can dance.
Oh, the 9 balls are going to trickle in. Looks like it.
Yeah, thanks, Jeremy. The pool clubs.
That's right. Okay, another situation where he could go offensive. It looks like a little bit of a bank you got to stiff in, but the 2's near. He could draw over for position. Oh, it's a little off, but I'll tell you, it's hard for me to pass on this cut shot usually.
Yeah, this is just how you feel at the moment you're playing the shot, really.
Yeah.
The safety's not tough. The cut shot, a little tougher, but again, you always try to, when you get a chance, he's looking at it, he's going to go for the cut shot.
Well, the only thing that I think was slowing him down to begin with is, am I coming across into the 7? What am I doing with the cue ball? Because you don't want to hit it and just float this in. You want to put a little pace on it. So maybe back and forth, maybe going to the 7 with the cue ball. Oh, he floated it, so pretty nervy, I'll tell you. A nice shot.
Well, he's going to have to draw this one out with a lot of left-hand spin, come between the 6 and the 10.
And this one you have to create the angle a little bit to make sure you're not coming tight into the 6. So this one I may hit to where I feel like I'm not hitting it hard enough to scratch, because this could open up towards a scratch angle, 2 rails. Okay, now that's the problem. Now you hit the 6. And he's got a shot. He's got a little bit of an alley, or he can put some inside English, but he really had to let that angle open up there to get past that 6 ball.
Didn't quite create the angle, did he? He didn't force it enough. Just overdrew it. It was as much of a stun draw with the left-hand spin, and just let the spin take the cue ball around. Again, you know, these are shots that the pros play. It's second nature with them, and you know, the most part they make it look pretty easy.
Yeah, well, this is as much a pressure match as these guys have faced in this tournament. This is to make it on.
But you got to make sure you deliver that cue nice and straight through the white now. Anytime you're elevating, never easy.
Really, he's played pretty solid, Kuribayashi. He missed the safety in the opening game where Alex made a really nice shot on the 1 and got control of the table, but it's not like he's played poorly, and he's made a lot of tough shots to what will be getting his 2nd game here and cutting that lead to 1 at 3-2.
Three-two it is. Pagulayan will come out of his seat to break in the next.
I'm scoring correct there because I can see it from here. But Tyler Steyer now up 3-1 on Lechner. Filler up 2-0 on Kazakis. Kevin Chang up 2-1 on Lowe. Skawerski up 3-0 on Ignacio. Dennis Grabe up 2-1 on Albin Ocean. You can see our match here. Boosterbosch ahead of Mario He now 6-4. And Chris Melling trailing Koping Yi 3-0.
And cue ball passed over to Pagulayan. And the newly inducted Hall of Fame member will try and take rack 6 apart.
I thought he made one. Oh, he did. Just a cue ball.
It seems like there's been a number of times he's been faced with a very difficult shot that really doesn't afford any aggressive options. It's just try and buy yourself a chance for a better safety. Well, maybe the safety might come here on the 1 this time.
Yeah, well, the 2's in an awful position. At least at first glance it was. We'll get another look at it. I just thought maybe with ball in hand you can get it in the side, but man, how do you even play safe? Safety's not. Oh, is he pushing out? Okay, he's not taking any chances on this 1 ball just because that's how much he dislikes this open 1 ball. And that's not just because of where the 2's at. Just felt like he could knock the 1 on the side. He'd go off the 7 and 10 and maybe trap himself on the 2 to where he's got way the worst of it. Yeah. Oh, he's going for this? Is the 2 playable on the side? Otherwise, you play the cue ball behind the 4 and just let the 1 go to the right, to the upper rail, and then down a little bit. Just float the cue ball behind the 4, I believe, but must feel pretty good about this going. Yeah, he must have felt like he could make the 2 from there, Jim.
Well, Alex can knock this 1 into the corner. If that 2 is available, he'll be able to slide that white over towards it.
He may even go into the 3. He may even come 1 rail across into the 3 with a little high right spin. If he shoots the 1 in the corner.
Yeah, with the Japanese player attacking the 1, that 2 has to be available. Otherwise, what was the value in going at the 1?
Yeah, exactly. He's going at the 1 in the corner. So the types of shots not only makes the ball, but a little thick. So that he was going after the 2 in the side.
Well, the first real mistake from Pagulayan. Still a long ways from being easy, though, for Kuribayashi.
Yeah, but again, him and Alex both feel like the 2 goes in the side. So if he can float right towards the 4, 1 rail, caught a little thick. So now I probably lay the cue ball down behind the 4, I'm guessing, but it's a dangerous little touchy shot and always offers the jump shot to these guys. Is he looking at cut in the corner? I think he is.
Well, it looks like the cue ball will hit that point, and a little bit of guesswork exactly where the cue ball is going to go.
I totally agree with that, Jim.
He's still thinking about that missed 1.
What a shot. And I got to believe he knew it was carrying back into the 3 ball, because he almost looked at it like this was worth shooting at.
Well, he needed to pinch a rack from Pagulayan with Pagulayan's break, and this is his opportunity.
And if he's got to stay above it, he's going to have a little bit of a touchy shot, meaning if he can't go down below the 7 a little, he's got to shoot from above the 7. He's going to have a shot that requires a little speed control coming down to the 8. He got a little fuller. I'm not sure that's going to help him a whole lot. He can't go 1 rail, so he's got to come 2 rails. So he's going to got to put some force into the cue ball. So he's worried about the overhit because he doesn't want to land a little long on the 8. Is he trying to go 1 rail? I'd love to go 1 rail if I was him here, but I don't think that's offered. I think he's got to come 2. Oh, he did come 1 with a soft 2nd rail like that. And that's a lot easier way to play that shot if you can. Pretty impressed so far here, Jim. I'll tell you, he's made all the tough. I mean, Alex has made a couple tough ones too, but he's made some tough shots in this match.
Well, there's a lot at stake. Both players know it.
Now chip in 10 ball to tie our score at 3 games apiece. Kuribayashi will be breaking in game number 7.
Yeah, that was no mean feat getting out there. One mistake from Pagulayan was capitalized on. But a very high standard. A few more people have made their way into the CSI arena. Jeremy, more empty seats than bodies when this match started, but it actually was very quick and unannounced. So I think now that people have realized who's here, they're filtering in slowly. We do have the BCA Nationals going on all around too, and a few thousand players here, I've been told.
Oh yeah, I would say many thousands actually. I'm not sure what the exact number is, but the teams just arrived yesterday, so team events are going on in many divisions. And it's long days out here for them as well, so not probably getting some rest, some of them, you know, but it is pretty full in the stands. But we've had some really nice crowds every day and evening.
It's free to come down and watch. Get a chance to see some of these stars that you only ever see on television or on YouTube. See them in person. And
6 ball going to continue. It's going to be close. I think he's a little snookered.
well, again, 3 balls off the break. I haven't seen an illegal break in this event this year.
Oh, the 10 ball. Guys would really have to kind of whiff the rack. Again, the 2's kind of away from the 1. If you could see clearly at the 1, I think he's just going to try and partially jump it with a flat cue ball and try and come one rail across for the 2. I don't think you'll see him hit down on this ball that much. I mean, he's aiming low, but I think he'll actually hit a bit higher than that. Oh no, he's like, yeah.
You hit the 6.
Yeah, I didn't understand that shot. It looked like he was trying to make it kind of hit it firm, but make it throw in a little more. I didn't understand that one exactly.
I think Alex is smiling. I'm not sure. The referee is not really a referee as such. He's kind of an official on site, but if they need a referee, he's here overseeing the match. Not going to be called on unless he's asked to come and oversee a shot. Yeah, Pagulayan calling for his extension. Each player allowed a 40-second extension.
I believe the 8 plays easily, so he's going to play the 2-8 combo. Yeah, I'm not faulting it, Jim, but I was just thinking right before he shot it. I mean, if the 8 goes so easy and you had ball in hand on the 1, I'm not sure why he didn't just play position on the 2 to get to the 3 and leave the 8. You know, I just didn't see the purpose about it at first. And this has gotten away from him.
Well, the speed that he played that shot made no sense. Just got to roll up to this now.
Yeah. But if that opens something up, makes sense to play the combo, but I just didn't see it there.
Yeah, just a little carelessness. You don't often see that from Alex.
No. He's got a. I would take a chance at coming all the way down for the 6-3 myself here, I believe. Not just behind the 4. I think take a chance if it allows it, if the shot allows it, I mean. Yeah, that's what I would have done right there. You got to have good speed either one. And you have 2 balls to get behind. And if you don't have the speed correct behind the 4, you could easily give up a shot. Now he's giving up a shot here, but it's supposed to be a little tougher than this, and this still isn't easy.
Well, he can get through to the 3, but I just can't see him attacking from here.
Now just trying to lay the cue ball up in this lower right-hand corner and use the 10 as a safe.
He doesn't want to go in off.
Nice shot. I don't think he'll be jumping at this one, but he may take a good stab at it cross side on a kick shot.
Yeah, he will call the side here. He's just having a look at it. Oof.
Missed the entire ball. Wow.
Yeah, that shocks me.
Yeah. That was like 90 plus out of 100, maybe 95 out of 100 for these types of players, unless you're really trying to hit a particular side of the ball.
Yeah, I am shocked that he missed that. Well, it was easily the scrappiest rack these guys have played. In the end, it's going to go to the Lion, and he's going to be back 4-3 in front, and with a chance to increase that as he breaks in the next.
Alex, I kind of felt like he might take a timeout. That's what he's doing. We'll get you some outer scores, though. Beasterbosch now only ahead 6-5 over Mario He. Chris Melling still not on the board and down what looks about to be 5-0 to Koping Yi. Lechner trails 2-3 against Tyler Steyer. Filler up 5-0 on Kazakas. Wow.
Yeah, that's another one where Filler has been winning matches, and Kazak is coming straight off that loss to Suke, and you lose a match to somebody like Ralph Suke, and you do feel like you went about 4 rounds with Tyson.
Right. Yeah, a little rope-a-doped.
Yep.
Yeah, to say the least. Kevin Chang with a 3-2 lead over Lowe. Skawerski up 5-2 now on Ignacio. So Ignacio's gotten on the board and got a few on his side. Dennis Grabe with a 3-2 lead over Albin Ocean.
"13 world champions when this event started out in the 64-player field. A number of players with multiple world titles. We even had Earl Strickland playing Ralph Suke in a second-round match in the winner's bracket, and probably as many titles on that table between those two as the other 11 combined.
Right. Talked about Filler after that loss. He suffered it. Just a hard guy to beat twice, or get beaten twice.
Yeah, he's the reigning world 9-ball champion. A young player from Germany with the pool world at his feet. And everybody marks his name in the draw. Pagulayan places the cue ball, settles in, rack number 8. Has to be happy to have survived that last rack because played a very careless shot for him.
Watch out for the cue ball. He's made a few, and he's going to have a look at the one. Now, if a pocket opens up, he's almost straight in with the 2, very near and handy.
Yeah, this is a position of some promise, and I think Alex recognizes that. So instantly it's dig in and focus.
Yeah, he's just going to shove the cue ball a little bit for a little natural angle on the 2 to come up for the 3 in the side. He'll want to get down here, though. He doesn't want to have to let the cue ball fall towards the 8 with the 5 being over near that 9. I think he'll want to go ahead and get the cue ball all the way down to play the cue ball up table to get on the 5. Okay, is he going to go? Yeah, and that's a problem with the 10 being there as well. Now he has to go around the 8, and he has to. The angle is going into the 10 somewhat. A little bit fortunate maybe that there's a 5-9 combo that's pretty playable. He may just go ahead and let it go here and go into the back of the 5 with the cue ball off of 3 rails. There was that problem, Jim. And I think he may have gotten away with it a bit. I don't think the 10 can. Yeah, the 10 didn't cover up the 5, and he has a shot.
Gonna have to spin this one a little bit though.
Yeah, unless he wants to stay high for the cut, it's kind of up to him. He got the most out of staying high on the cue ball, but really nice control. 9 goes in the side. He just checked that. The one thing about this game is at first you have so much talent and you don't have hardly any worries. Once you start learning the game, you start to realize all these things. They make you start worrying, and it can really affect the physical side of the game as well. And
Pool.
you know as well as I do, snooker was the same way, I'm sure.
Yeah, pool. Yeah, it was easy when you were young, and you get older, and all of a sudden you realize pool's a little bit like life, and just when you think it gets easy.
Yeah, I've scratched off that shot before. You look at it, it's supposed to happen, but well, now out to a bit scrappy, that rack, but he got through it in a 5-3 lead. Well, the Chinese Taipei players are just so tough, and there's many of them, but the cream of the crop is just really, really some of the best in the world. And Chris Melling, after losing to Chang, now down 6-0 to Koping Yi. Tyler Steyer still up 3-2.
Well, we can give you some of the players that are going to be making up the last 16. Johan Chua from the Philippines. He's undefeated. Junlin Chang, also undefeated. We've already told you about the Terminator Niels Fayan, and Jason Shaw will be joining Niels.
Koping Chung.
Koping Chung, yep. Ralph Suke also through. Masato Yoshioka, another Japanese star. And then Lone American Hopes resting with Billy Thorpe. Those are the 8 undefeated players. And all these matches that are taking place right now will be the 8 from the left-hand side of the draw to join those 8. They'll be drawn into those 8. Races will go to 10.
And we'll have what will be, let's see, 5 matches tomorrow?
Yep, starting at 10 a.m. in the morning, the first match will be coming your way.
So what we're going to have is we're going to have 8 matches going on at 10, right? And then we're going to have each of the quarterfinals. So four matches in a row. We'll just have 1 match in the arena itself, no outer matches, and then our 2 semifinals on Friday and our final on Friday.
Exactly right. That's the way the schedulers have seen it.
Okay. It's a little hard to tell from the overhead, but I think he can go by the 5 with some top English here. Certainly wants to. And he could. The thing here is go ahead and put a little speed on it, because you can afford a little bump on the 5. I think it's harder to go over and back punching the ball than it is to go with top English. Okay, you don't want this to check up. He's moving it across the top of the 5 and back over below the 10. Yeah, is it going to get there? Yeah, that's what I would have been worried about. And I think he could have followed his ball right there and maybe edged the 5 pretty easily. Maybe just gone right by it for a little cut shot on the 4.
Well, certainly he's not going to be thrilled with how that one unfolded. This has got to be just a safety now. That's the longest reach I've seen on a pool table in a long time.
Must really dislike the bridge. But I'll tell you, he did real well. Now Alex is going to be on the fence. Do I kick hard and try and take a chance, or do I kick soft and see if I get a better kick shot on the next one? It's kind of what you're thinking here. You kick soft. You're not going to snooker Kuribayashi, but you hope maybe he gives you a little something better to work with. Or maybe called the 6 up in the corner and you take a rip at it. Oh, he's trying to tie something up. Oh. Okay.
Well, he's kind of going with your theory that
something better.
It's not going to be as tough.
Yeah.
Or at least something that he can kick at with some modicum of control.
Right. Yeah, this is what you may have been talking about. Still going to be awfully touchy getting in there, and he has to spin the cue ball a little bit if he's going to go one rail. The ref should be right on top of this, I would think.
Yeah, but so let me ask you a question here, Jeremy. I mean, if he hits it, yeah, I was going to say, is there any value in hitting the 4?
No, maybe not, but he's on 2 fouls. That's one part of it.
Well, again,
now with the 10 kind of getting there, you may be able to play something. I mean, you figure Alex still to be able to kick and hit the 4, most likely, no matter how he puts it. But
well, I can't see him doing it any different than he just did. Just same sort of shot and get the cue ball up near the corner. I mean, Alex will be kicking at it, but I suppose the way this is all unfolded, it's not going to be a lot different than the original 4-6 when Alex tied it up to begin with.
yeah, and if he runs all the way over, he's got a chance of selling out. He doesn't want to open the 4 up. See, like right here, can he get the 6 in there? Can he get the cue ball in there? I think he can. Maybe not. If he froze the 4, that's important as far as what good is going to happen now. Has he been told he's on 2 fouls?
Good hit. Kuribayashi tapping the table in acknowledgement of a great shot from Pagulayan there. But still the initiative in this rack stands with the Japanese player.
And that's a little light there. Still left it a little touchy. I mean, you'd like to think Alex can use the 6-10 pretty easily and to get a snooker, but it's touchy.
I think Kuribayashi just dropped his chalk in the pocket too. He's reaching in the side pocket to grab the chalk, and he didn't come out with anything.
Sure didn't. It goes away quickly. Touchy shot here, though. Wow, pretty nice. Even though he's left it over the side, which offers a little better chance for his opponent. But still, just pretty nice to just make sure you get the snooker, get the hook.
Well, if nothing else, Alex has played himself into favor in this rack. Gave a couple intentional fouls away.
Wow, what a bad roll that was. Oh, great shot. Wow. Kuribayashi, just wondering what he's got to do. Not in love with any kick. I'm just going to probably come to the bottom rail, one rail, and One good thing about cross corner is that if he does happen to make it, a little bit better chance to get position on the 6 rather than the other one off the bottom rail. But, oh.
Well, in a rack that looked like Alex was always just fighting to stay alive. All of a sudden, looks like it's going to be 6-3.
Well, I'm not sure anybody in the room knows situational pool better than Alex Pagulayan. Like that whole process that we had right there in the middle of the rack where he tied that 9 up. That's not the first time he had done something like that. Looked like it to me that he had a little bit of a game plan. And he still need a little bit of fortune for it to work out, but he had a little thought process there when he tied those 3 balls up. And now it's chip in on the side to go up 6-3 and breaking.
Yeah, the match is in his control now, especially if he puts a good break in the next.
Bosch up 7-5 in shooting against Mario. He's got a combination on the side. Didn't want to make them both, and he did. He's in a nice position to move on to the final 16. Really just got 1 shot left on the 3 ball. A little bit of a tester. He's got to put a little inside, maybe to get by the 9. Guy's solid though, Jim.
Oh yeah, from the Netherlands. They're all solid in that part of the world. They had too many good players to learn from.
Yeah, he's ended up short actually. Caught the 3 a little thick going to the pocket. Consequently, I'm not sure if he can cut the 5 in or not. We'll get back to you there. But Alex Pagulayan now in game 10 with a 6-3 lead to break the balls. See much yet, just of yet. It looks like the 3 got pretty tied up, but the 2's there. So whoever gets that first shot may be able to open the 310 coming off the 2 ball somehow.
Well, this is the hardest part of the rack right here.
Yeah, he's moving the wrong ball. He should move the 3, I believe. The 3's the one on the rack. Now he's going to have to move the rack as well. Bit of a Rubik's Cube at times.
I could just see that template flicking that little implement that he used to mark the 10 out of the way.
Oh, I've seen some strange things happen actually with referees moving the balls with the template.
Well, I'll tell you what happened in professional snooker. I'm not going to mention any names, but the referees, obviously, they're wearing the gloves, and he was spotting the pink, and he was carrying the pink over the reds, the triangle reds. Dropped the pink right in the middle of the reds.
Oh, man.
Yes, on live TV. And you want to be a ref.
Okay, he went for the bank. I don't blame him. A bit of a 2-way, he thought. Ooh, touchy here now. The 9's got the block on the kick. I don't think he can get between the 4-9 and bend the ball back. How's he gonna kick? Can he get through there, Jim? I mean, 2-rail kick to the bottom rail. Looks like the 9's got him cut off.
Well, I don't think so, Jeremy. He's looking at it, and he's targeting that spot.
Oh, he's going between the 3-9 with spin. Okay, I was looking at the 4-9 as the problem. I didn't think he could go between the 4-9.
Overspun it, actually. And now that 310 in the middle. Pretty important.
Yeah, and if the 9 went there, you'd certainly just come 1 row into it. And you probably have to anyways. He could have maybe played heavy on it and gotten up for the 3 in the upper right-hand corner, but that's a tough task. And
Yeah, he's got the natural angle here now. He's got to take the cue ball into the 3 and just trusting the luck a little bit here.
yeah, he's going to hit it to where they don't open, they don't blast all over the place. They're just going to open probably somewhat mildly, you would think anyways. You don't think he's going to hit it that hard. A lot of bad things can happen when you hit it hard. And I really like the speed control there, Jim.
And needs to have an angle on that 4 to get up for the 5 too. That'll be just as well served to just follow through with this, Jeremy, wouldn't you think? Just to where he's holding his Q-tip now.
I think so, but if he does that, he's got to zigzag the cue ball back and forth for when he shoots the 4 to the 5. He could draw behind him unless the 10's in the way. Could draw to the backside of the 4 with a little low right spin. Screw the cue ball back, but the 10 must have a chance of getting contacted by doing that. So he's going to go forward. Oh, he tried to get a lot out of it. The thing is, you have to recognize you're going to have angle anyways. So another 6 inches to the right is no big deal. It's going to be extreme either way. So don't risk the 3 ball trying to get just that much better on something you're going to be a little severe on anyways. Because you could always see he was going to have to play the cue ball back and forth from the 4 to the 5. So like I said, another 6 inches to the right is not that big of a deal. We'll see how the timing is for Alex right now. And he's not even going to fool with that back and forth just because it feels like the 5/8's a pretty easy shot. Oh, he did go back and forth. Nicely struck.
And the 6 is available to the corner or the side. Just depends how Alex wants to go through this. He already sees the pattern in his mind and wants to strike while the iron's hot. Let Kuribayashi think about that missed 3.
I'm not sure just of yet, but could be very well that Biesterbosch is our first through to the final 16 from the 1-loss side. Now this is a little bit of a mistake, quite possibly, Jim. Yeah, no reason to fall in that funny angle, which is you got to force it to get back over to the easy side of the 8, or you're falling towards the short side. Not sure what he's doing exactly. He's letting the stroke out a little bit. But you could see that made the shot a lot tougher.
He hit that one awful good, all things considered. Should have had to play it that way, but
talk about it all the time. If football's a game of inches, what is pool? Pool's just a game of playing card widths. Just changes the shot so easily.
well, this will be 4 in a row. And 7-3 the lead now. On the hill, Kuribayashi can afford no more mistakes, and he'll be breaking in the next.
Some outer scores there. Only one finish. That was again Biesterbosch over Mario He, but some nearing the finish line. Koping Yi 6-2 over Melling. Kevin Chang 5-3 over Lowe. Gray with still 1 game lead at 4-3 over Oshan. Skowerski of 5-4 over Ignacio. Ignacio making a comeback. I believe it was 4-0 and 5-1 in that match. Tyler Steyer ahead 4-2 over Lechner. Who's our other match there? Yeah, Filler, a 7-2 over Kazakis.
Yeah, he's on the hill, Josh. Looking for the double crown.
Yeah, that's happened a few times. Hit him a little off, so that's when you miss him. When you hit there, he was breaking from his right, and he hit the one ball a little more extreme on the left, and that's when those target balls tend to be a little long and a little wide. So big shot for Alex, just to roll it in and accept a little distance on the 2 ball. If he can get those 2 down, I don't think he has to do much more. I mean, there's some work, obviously. Just keep this one simple. Get the run started here. You're so good. Go the rail out. Take a little shot on the 2. Just don't get elevated over the 7. Okay, that's pretty nice. Again, that world title is going to elude SVB this time around. Pretty disappointing to me.
Yeah, disappointing to a lot of Americans that really picked Shane to be in the later stages of this event at the worst.
Okay, just get into position on that 4 as quick as possible, because he kind of knows as well as we do that's the shot to get him through this rack and get on to the final 16.
Yeah, the 9's available to the same corner. He just shot the 4. This shouldn't be long. From the 7 to the 8, if he can get almost straight on the 8, I think Kuribayashi senses what we do. His days in the Predator World 10-Ball Championship for 2019 could be coming to a close.
Yeah, they're numbered. Josh Filler, reigning World 9-Ball champion, moves on. You can see him breaking the cues down over there.
Yeah, a nice angle on the 7 to get that cue ball up to the 8. And this has been a good performance from Alex after a hard-fought match that he was at the wrong end of. To come back out here and put in a performance like this. Again, we've always known the type of character he possesses and the ability that's there. And we expect so much from these players. We forget they're human.
That's right.
Yeah, some kind of performance from the Lion.
A true class there.
And he is through to the knockout stages. There'll be 16 that'll make it up, but the Lion is through. And play will commence tomorrow at 10 a.m. Jeremy, thank you very much. A pleasure as always.
Yeah, thank you, Jim, and we'll see you tomorrow.
And folks, we're looking forward to seeing all of you tomorrow too. From all of us here in Vegas, good night.
Both get one do-over.
The idea of Revo started when I first came to Florida in 1997, and I loved what the shaft did, what the cue did for the player. And I realized, well, there's technology out there that we have not explored yet. I really wanted to see cues designed for people, for each player, rather than one shaft fits all. We're achieving that this year. We're making the first, or our first, Predator custom Revo shaft.
"20 years from now, you'll be looking for a wooden shaft like a hen's tooth. It just won't be there. It'll go the way of the skis have, tennis rackets, golf clubs. None of those products are made out of wood any longer, but they all were at one time. Just the way it's going to be. If you had a wooden shaft and you had a carbon fiber shaft, and nobody saw either, which one would you pick?
When we play pool, we use every side of the tip all around, so that consistency is very, very important. Straightness is more critical than any other game out there. Then you add accuracy, flexibility, stiffness. When you talk about nodes, pivot point, you need to really understand, you need to master the game. We design every single shaft based on what the player needs to improve his game.